ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ॐ। We are studying the Brahma Sutras with the commentary of Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya Deva, and we are now seeing how Shankaracharya is taking up every objection of the Purva Paksha one by one and setting them aside. So now he is tackling the objection that the association with the body, mind, prana, and so on is just figurative. It is gaunaha, figurative. It is not unreal. It is not false, but it is just figurative. That is the objection the Purva Paksha has. So that is now set aside, and the rationale behind such setting aside is also shown. Shankaracharya says, Atra ahuhu. Here in this context, some say, Dehadi Vyatiriktasya Atmanah Atmiye Dehadau Aham Abhimanah Gaunah Na Mithya iti. Dehadi Vyatiriktasya Atmanah, of the self or Atman, which is different from Dehadi, body and so on. That means body, prana, mind, buddhi, and Anandamaya Kosha. That which is different from all these. What is different from all these? Atman is different from all these. But of that Atman, Atmiye Dehadau Aham Avimanah Gaunah. Of that Atman, Deha Adau Aham Abhimanah. In body and so on, body, etc. That is, in body, prana, mind, buddhi, and Anandamaya Kosha, Aham Abhimanah. The idea or the notion of I in these body, mind, etc. is Gaunah. That is, it is just figurative. It is not na mithya. It is not false. It is not false. Iti. Like that. In this manner, some people say. So according to some people, they believe that Atman, which is different from body and the other four koshas, identification of Atman or the Atman getting identified with body and other koshas is it's just figurative. It is not false. So this thing, you cannot say it is false. It is just figurative. That is the idea. That is the idea here given. So that is being set aside. That is rejected by Shankaracharya. He says, no, that cannot be. Why? Prasiddha vastu bhedasya gaunatva mukhyatva prasiddhehe. Prasiddha vastu bhedasya. When a vastu bheda, differences in a particular thing or in a particular aspect of a particular thing is prasiddha, is well known. So when differences in a particular thing is well known, gaunatva mukhyatva prasiddhehe. When the differences are well known, then along with such differences, the gaunatva, that is something being figurative or secondary, and mukhyatva, something being primary, are prasiddhehe, well known. So Yasya hi prasiddha vastu bhedah. That which has a difference or a variety that is well known. That which has a well known variety. Yatha, like Kesaradiman Akriti Visheshaha. Like some Akriti Visheshaha, some shape, particular shape, specific shape, distinct shape, which is Kesaradiman, which has got mane. So we find in the case of a lion, just below its neck, we find some kind of growth of hair, etc. That is called mane. It's called Kesara. So that is why it is called Kesari. So that mane, whichever, that's a very typical growth of lion. So whichever animal has that mane, that animal is lion. So yatha kesaradiman akriti visheshaha. That distinct akriti visheshaha, distinct or special characteristic form of the mane, M-A-N-E, mane, which is called Kesara in Sanskrita, of that particular form, Anvaya Vyatirekaabhyam, to see where it is present, Anvaya, Vyatireka, to see where it is not present or where it is absent. By doing that, Simha Shabda Pratyaya Bhag, Mukhyaha, Simha Shabda Pratyaya Bhag. So the word Simha or lion, and also the notion caused by it, the idea caused by it, they are Mukhyaha, they are main. So when somebody sees the characteristic form of a mane, or that hair-like growth which comes out below the neck of a lion, once somebody sees that, immediately that person, wherever that person sees that, that thing or that animal is lion. That person calls that animal lion, and in one's mind brings the notion of lion. That is mukhyaha, that is main. Anyaha prasiddhaha. And so that thing is well known. This is well known. Well known, and it is anyaha prasiddhaha. It is known as a distinct entity. So lion is not confused with anything else because its distinctness, distinctive or characteristic feature is well known. So that is why it's not confused. Tatahascha anyaha purushaha. Also, tataha, from that idea. That idea means the idea that lion has mane. So similarly, from the idea of lion, from the notion of lion, anyaha purushaha, other person, prayikaihi, who is mostly or mainly, prayikaihi, who is mainly, kraurya shauryadibihi simha gunaihi sampannaha siddha, one who has the qualities of a lion, simha gunaihi, qualities of a lion. What kind of qualities? Kraurya shauryadibihi. Kraurya means krura. Krura means cruelty. That means lion is merciless when it comes to hunting. So it is ruthless. It is ruthless. So that is kraurya. Krura, from krura it comes kraurya. So ruthlessness. And shaurya means valor, heroism, valor, heroism, or not in a negative sense heroism, but in a positive sense, valor. So kraurya shaurya dibihi, the qualities such as valor and ruthlessness and other qualities, Simha gunaihi sampannah. That is other qualities which we associate with a lion. A person who has such qualities, sampanna siddha, a person who is known to have such qualities, is proven to have such qualities, tasya purushe, of that person, simha shabda pratyayau, when that person is called lion. Some people are called lion, he is like a lion. So there, when the word shabda, word simha is used, in that pratyayau, that cognition or that notion of the word lion, or the notion of the concept of lion, gaunau bhavatah, that is figurative. That is figurative, because definitely that person is not lion. So here the idea is that like a lion. So it is a figurative thing. When it is used in the case of a person, it is a figurative thing. Na aprasiddha vastu bhedasya. But that is not the case in the case of something aprasiddha vastu bhedasya. For one person, or when in the context of when we don't know the bheda, difference between different entities. When the difference between different entities is not clear or it is not distinct. So in this example of lion, the difference between lion and other entities is very clear because of main kesara. It is very clear. Whereas that might not be the case every time. So when the distinction or the characteristic feature is not clear, then one cannot treat that particular concept as figurative. So one can say this figurative and main meaning only when the meanings are clear and distinction is clear. So in the case of the word lion, if somebody is saying lion, that person is lion among men. So lion among men means what? The person has got the qualities like we just saw, ruthlessness or valor of lion. So lion, or maybe majesty, majestic appearance, etc. So we generally say this person looks like he has got that bearing of a lion, like lion, some royal kind of thing. So that is because the distinctive characteristic of a lion is known. It is prasiddha. It is prasiddha. Vastu bheda. It is prasiddha. The distinction of that particular entity is well known. Whereas that is not the case always. Always you might not know properly the distinction of a particular thing. Tasya tu anyatra anya shabda pratyayau भ्रांति निमित्तौ एव भवतः न गौणः gaunau. So tasya tu anyatra, of a thing of which the distinctive characteristic is not known, the distinctive feature is not known, tasya tu, indeed of that, anyatra anya shabda pratyayau, at a different place having the cognition of some other word. Just like here, in a person, you had the cognition of lion or notion of lion. So here, anyatra, that is with reference to some other entity, anya shabda pratyayau, some other word is used. And the word and the notion generated by the word is used. So then how does that happen? There, where the distinctive characteristic is not known, then we have to say that it happens because of Bhranti nimittau eva. Nimittau, because of Bhranti, delusion, eva. Indeed, it happens only because of delusion. Na gauna bhavatah, it happens na gauna. It is not because it is considered in a figurative sense. So, example is also given. Yatha, just like manda andhakare, in a not fully dark, but darkness is just setting in. So manda andhakare. So darkness which is just setting in means it is not completely, things are not completely invisible, but it is dark. Light darkness is there. In that darkness, for example, when in that kind of darkness, sthanuhu ayam iti agrihyamana visheshe purusha shabda pratyayau sthanu vishayo. So one person sees a pillar and it is just getting dark. So sees a pillar, and because if it becomes fully dark, that person would not be able to see a pillar. Here, because the darkness is only light, it's just beginning of the evening that a person sees a pillar. But sthanuhu ayam means this. Sthanuhu, this is a pillar. Iti, in this manner, that person is unable to understand that pillar. Because it is dark, it's getting dark. So that person says, agrihyamana visheshe. That person is unable to agrihyamana, unable to apprehend or grasp, unable to grasp the distinctive feature of that particular pillar. The person is just seeing that there is something there. Something is there. Something is standing there. That is what that person is seeing. So, agrihyamana visheshe. Purusha shabda pratyayau sthanu vishayo. So there, because the distinctive feature of the pillar has not apprehended, it is not understood. So what happens? Because the distinctive feature of the pillar is not understood, there cannot be a sure understanding of pillar. One cannot be certain that it is pillar. One cannot be certain, because when one is properly seeing in proper light, and also one has got proper vision, and then one person sees a pillar, immediately what we will say, this is a pillar. Even if we don't say that, we know immediately that this is a pillar. But in darkness or in the beginning of night, just in the beginning, when the darkness is not, it's not completely dark, so you are able to see that there is something there, but it is dark also, so you are unable to see whether it is a person or pillar. So you are not able to with conviction or certainty say that this is a pillar. So in that case, what happens? Purusha shabda pratyayau sthanu vishayo. For a pillar, one might use the word person. Purusha means person. Might use the word person, and pratyaya. Pratyaya means the cognition or the notion which is generated by this word. So Purusha Shabda Pratyayau Sthanu Vishayo. So here the cognition or the notion of Purusha, that means a person, and also the word Purusha, that is which denotes a person, this is used for sthanu, for pillar. So this is something where one does not have a clear distinctive feature of the thing involved. Means you are not clearly able to identify the pillar. There is some confusion. Basically, there is some confusion. And so where there is confusion, one cannot say that that particular notion or that particular consciousness or concept, that particular cognition is figurative. One cannot say that, because it is not figurative. It becomes figurative only when you know the main thing and you are able to properly understand it, properly apprehend it, and also you know what is the uh, secondary thing, gauna, and you are also properly able to appreciate it. So for example, there is that's called lakshya artha. So lakshana artha means you are saying somebody is walking like, say somebody is walking like a peacock. So that peacock, so like peacock, or more general, we find in the devotional text that a person's lotus like feet, it is a charana kamala or charana saroja, like that we use. So it is a usage which is very common, lotus feet. Also we use karakamala in Hindi. Basically it is always used karakamlo dwara. So once lotus like hands, imagine hand becoming like lotus. So the quality of softness is what is told there. The quality of purity and also softness, which is found in the lotus flower, that is found in this person's feet or hand. And so that is why there that is used. So one is very clear, what is it that I am using? What is the quality which I am finding here? So a person definitely, when they say Pada Kamala or lotus feet, they don't mean that the feet has got lotus coming up out or something. No, they are very clear that this quality, this notion created by the word lotus is what is present in the feet. That is what is present in the feet. And so we use the word lotus there. So there is clarity. So that is what is told Prasiddha Vastu Bheda. The distinction or special characteristic of that entity is Prasiddha, well known. When that is the case, then you can say that it is, when it is used for a particular entity which is not directly denoted by that word, like we saw in our example, Simha. When a person comes, some person they are called Simha, some person they are called Markata, monkey, depending on their qualities. So in both cases, when a person is saying, oh, you are jumping like a monkey, we are very clear what quality of monkey is found in this person. Jumping, we will not go, oh, you are a monkey, so where is your tail? That we will not say. Sometimes we may use, oh, this person has become like a tail, like a monkey tail. In many Indian languages, such a usage is there. So that is what Prasiddha Vastu Bheda. The distinctive characteristic of a particular entity is very well known. And once you know that, then you use that particular word in a different context. Anyatra Anya Shabda Pratyaya. So you use that word in the case of a person who is like a lion or who is like a monkey. But this cannot hold good. This treatment cannot be applied to something of which we don't have clarity, in which we don't know the distinctive feature. That is very important here. That is what is Shankaracharya wanting to tell us. So that is why in this dark, when the night has just begun, when it is Manda Andhakara, it is just setting, night is just setting in, darkness is just coming. So it is not completely dark, it is not also completely light. There, one is seeing a pillar, but is unable to agrihyamana visheshe. The distinctive characteristic of a pillar is one is unable to grasp that, unable to grihya or grahana, unable to understand that. So that person in all doubt uses the word Purusha. That person does not use the word Purusha because there is a confusion whether it is a Purusha or pillar. means it whether it is a person or pillar. But that person uses the word Purusha because that person at that moment is convinced that it is a person. It is not pillar. See, this is the difference. So it is not that that person knows that it is a pillar and says that you see you are like a pillar. We use this word. This person is a pillar in this particular organization or in this particular department or in my life, etc. So Purusha Shabda Pratyayau Sthanu Vishayau is used. Why? That not only the word person, but also the cognition which is generated by the word or concept which is generated by the word person is used in the case of in the context of a pillar, not knowing that it is a pillar. That is the point. One does not know that it is a pillar. Knowingly, that person does not say. In our classic example of rope and snake, when a person is seeing snake in rope, that person has no idea that it is actually rope. That is not there. Whereas in the case of a person being called a lion or a monkey, the person who is using the word is very clear that here I am using it only for the sake of the qualities of a lion or a monkey. This is the difference. So the Vastu Bheda is not prasiddha, it is not well known, it is not clear. So that is why it has to be considered as Bhranti Nimitta Eva. That it happens because of delusion alone. It happens because of delusion alone, not because of anything else. And another example is also given. Yathava, also, Shuktikayam Akasmat. Shuktikayam Akasmat. So suddenly you see in Shuktika, Akasmat means here without any logic. Shuktika means shell. In a shell you see, what do you see? Shuktikayam Akasmat Rajatam iti nishchitau shabda pratyayau. You see silver in shell. Actually, it is a shell, but you perceive silver in it. And that has got no logic because there is no silver in it. But because of that glitter or shine, you mistake it to be silver. And iti nishchitau, with a firm conviction like that, or coming to a certain conclusion like that, you use both the shabda, word, and pratyaya, the cognition or the notion, concept generated by the word. Here the word is rajatam, silver. So you are seeing shell, but you are seeing shell, but you are understanding it as, apprehending it as silver. Actually your eyes and your mind is, what is it seeing? What are they seeing? They are seeing shell. They are not seeing silver because there is no silver. But because of a wrong understanding, you use the word silver and you say, oh, this is silver. When you say this is silver, you're completely thinking that it is silver and it has got the properties of silver. So not only you are using the word silver, but you are also using the cognition or the notion of silver. That means the state of being silver, silverness. That also you are using. Whereas it is not the case when we use such words for people. Suppose somebody is there, does not do anything, etc. So totally lazy, etc. So we will say like, why are you lazy? Like some animal maybe. How many animals are lazy? All animals are active. Anyway, but suppose like that, some example. Or another example, we know donkey. Suppose somebody is like that, does not understand anything, etc. Donkey, you're like a donkey, we say. Indians are very, not sorry, Indians, of course, Indians. Indians in general and, human beings in general and Indians in particular. We are very happy to associate ourselves with other animals of the animal kingdom. We constantly tell a dog. So not so much, I think, other countries, maybe in Asia, other countries, but outside other continents, not so much. They have worse, what you call, epithets for human being. At least we are living being, we are using. They use something else also. So here, when we say a person dog, so definitely we are not using, why you are like a dog. So then we are not using the quality of loyalty, which dog is supposed to be known. There are all jokes where dogs get upset because some human being has been called dog, etc. Such jokes are there. Because the quality of loyalty, which is a characteristic quality of a dog, is not what is told when a person is scolded using the word dog. So we are clear what we are using for that person. That is the point there. Prasiddha vastu bheda. We are very clear what distinctive characteristic are we here talking about. But because there is no confusion at the time of getting the knowledge, the knowledge is very clearly apprehended. There is no confusion at the time of apprehending the knowledge. Actually, it is too clearly apprehended. That is why we use these comparisons. If you want to say that a person is like a lion, then you should know that person. Unless you know the person, how can you say that the person is brave like a lion? You cannot say that. Shaurya, that person has got bravery or valor like a lion. One cannot say unless one has properly understood. So the first step there is to properly get the knowledge. Whereas in the case of, that is what Shankaracharya is trying to tell. In the case of ignorance, knowledge itself is not proper. When you see a snake in rope, that itself is wrong. There is no snake, you are seeing snake. Similarly, when there is darkness or just darkness is coming, you are seeing a person where actually there is a pillar. So that knowledge itself is wrong. So it is not clearly apprehended, clearly understood. Tadvat, and so he gave the example of silver also. When you see shell, you are not properly seeing it. So you are perceiving silver there. So that is also wrong. That knowledge itself is not happening properly. That is the problem there. And so, Tadvat, similarly, Dehadi Sanghate, in the Sanghata or in the complex or in the conglomerate, that means the coming together of Deha Adi, that means body, prana, mind, buddhi, anandamaya kosha, etc. So body mind complex, you can say. Body mind complex, dehadi sanghate, ahamiti, to think, ahamiti, to consider or associate oneself with the body mind complex. Nirupacharena, that is in a non-figurative sense. Shabda pratyayau, both the word and the notion generated by the word. Shabda pratyayau, word and the notion generated by the word. Atma anatma avivekena utpadyamanau katham gaunau shakyau vaditum. So as I just now told, here the problem is that the knowledge itself was wrong. It was false knowledge because the knowledge itself was not properly attained. It's a wrong knowledge. So it was not properly attained. What is the knowledge? The knowledge that this body-mind complex is me. Ahamiti, I am the body-mind complex. It is nirupachara. It is not in a figurative manner. Like a person is called lion. It is totally in a figurative manner. The person is called lion. But when I say I am the body, I am not saying that in a figurative manner. Though if you think of the word play there, body, figure and all that, there is some word play. But anyway, but I'm not meaning that figurative, you got the idea. So it is not gauna. It is not used in a figure of speech manner. It is not used in a figurative manner. It is not used in a metaphorical manner. It is used because one thinks that one is body and mind. That is the difference. One thinks that one is the body and the mind. And why does that happen? So one is using both the shabda, word, and pratyaya, the cognition or the notion which is generated by the word body, mind. One is using that. Why does this happen? You are not the body and the mind, but why do you think that you are the body and the mind? Atma anatma avivekena, because of non-discernment of the self from the non-self. Atma from anatma. So what is your true nature? It is not properly analyzed or discerned from that which is not your true nature. That is the difference here. That is the problem here. So utpadyamanav, because of non-discernment of the self from the non-self, utpadyamanav, this notion of I being the body and the mind and so on, utpadyamanav, has been created, has been generated, has been produced. Utpadyamanav, it has been produced, or it arises. It arises. It arises because of Atma Anatma Aviveka, because of non-discernment of the self from the not self, non-self. Then Katham Gaunau Shakyo Vaditum, how can one say that it is figurative? It is not figurative, it is wrong understanding. Like we go to somebody's house and these people, now also some people do that. Once upon a time it was a big fashion. On their dining table, or also on the tea table, etc., which they keep on in that drawing room, we call living room or drawing room, where people are entertained, guests are entertained. There they will keep a bowl full of artificial fruits. When it came, then there were so many scenes in movies also that somebody is going and eating it and breaking one's teeth, etc. So artificial fruit they will keep, and it looks so real. It looks so real. You will go and you will try to take it or something. Some people, they have it all fixed. You cannot remove any fruit. It will be like that, set. And some people, you can remove the fruit, but then again it is artificial. So there, when you go and take, it is not that you are saying that it is like fruit. Oh, this is like orange. No, you have mistaken it to be orange. See, that's the difference here you have to understand. When he's saying that this aham pratyaya is not gauna, it is not that I am Atman. Oh, but I am like body, mind. My behavior is like body and mind. No. We consider ourselves to be body and mind. It is not that I know that I am Atman and yes, but this quality of body and mind is there. No. Just like when we go to that place and see this artificial fruit, we immediately think it is fruit and take it. Similarly, this is happening. So the knowledge itself is wrong. That's not fruit. It's just a model. So similarly, here, this idea that I am the body and the mind and so on, body, mind and so on, it arises because of non-discernment of the self from the non-self. How can you call it figurative knowledge? How can you call it secondary knowledge? You cannot call it, because there is no other knowledge than this knowledge. When a person is saying that I am the body and the mind, that person truly believes that she or he is body and the mind. That person does not know that the person is Atman. And it is worse. Even if that person has studied in scriptures, even then that person acts with the notion that that person is body and the mind. Shankaracharya, very rarely he uses strong language. But here he uses strong language. He says, Atma, Anatma, Vivekinam api, Panditanam, Aja Vipalanam iva, Aviviktau Shabda Pratyeo Bhavatah. So, Atma, Anatma, Vivekinam api. Atma, Anatma, Vivekinam api. So even among those people who know the difference between self and non-self, who know the difference between Atma and Anatma, even among those people, Panditana, that is those people who are wise. Wise means W-I-C, not V-I-C. These two words are really problematic. One means diametrically opposite to the other, but both are having the same pronunciation, sound same. So I don't know why it is vice principal, vice president. Actually, it should be WIC. Anyway, so vice principal, vice president, like that, not that vice, vice, WISE, Panditanam. So people who have wisdom, even among these people, immediately he uses the strong word, Aja Vipalanam Iva. So they act as though they are like people who mind sheep. Aja means goat or sheep. So that means like they are like goat herd, shepherds, basically. When in some places, like when we were young, the parents used to say, if you don't study, then we will get you some cows, and then you can know manage this cows, you can mind them, you can graze them, so you can become cow herd or goat herd. So idea is that they are totally illiterate, they have no knowledge of anything. So even though these learned people, they, because they have studied the Vedas, they know the difference between self and non-self by their behavior. They behave like these people who take care of goat, Aja Vipala. Aja Vipala means that a goat herd, like a shepherd. Aja Vipalanam iva aviviktau shabda pratyayo bhavatah. So like them, without discrimination, aviviktau, without discrimination, without any kind of discernment, shabda pratyayo bhavatah. So they use both the word and the notion generated by the word. What word? Body, mind. They use in a manner that is almost like without any discernment, without any knowledge, without any intelligence they are using. So there, why do they use? They know the difference, but still they are using because they think they are the body and the mind. So they use the body and the mind, the word body and the notion caused by body to mean body. So even a person has studied all Brahma Sutra, etc. Do you think your ignorance will go away? No, it will not. Unless you do sadhana. That is why Shankaracharya, he in the Adhyasa Bhashya, after Adhyasa Bhashya, while discussing the first sutra, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, he's telling what Atha means. Atha means that it is after. After what? After attaining Sadhana Chatushtaya. Sadhana Chatushtaya should be attained. Otherwise, you might be quoting from the Brahma Sutras, but you will be also like a goat herd. It's not my word. Shankaracharya has used. So, like, so strong is like people who mind goats, like that. Aja Vipalanam iva aviviktau shabda pratyayau bhavatah. So the shabda, that is the word, and the cognition generated by the word, or the notion generated by, idea generated by the word, that is like a person who is avivikta, who does not have any discernment, who does not have any analytical ability. So what does it mean? It is definitely not used in the figurative sense, because where it used in the figurative sense, these learned people will not use it like that. They are also using it meaning themselves to be, or considering themselves to be bodies, though they know fully well that they are not bodies because they have studied it, but that is there only in the intellect. It has not been acquired as, it has not been assimilated as knowledge. So tasmat, therefore, dehadi vyatirikta atma astitva vadinam dehadau aham pratyayau mithya eva na gaunah. Therefore, for the Vadinam, for people who believe in Atma Astitva, the existence of Atma, Dehadi Vetirikta, separate from or distinct from Deha Adi, body and so on. That is body, mind, prana, etc. So for people who believe that Atman exists separate or distinct from body, mind, etc., for those people, Dehadau Aham Pratyaya Mithyaiva na Gaunaha. The body and other things, body and so on, Aham Pratyaya, the notion of I in body and so on, is Mithya, is definitely false knowledge. It is false knowledge. It is not Gaunaha. It is not used in a figurative sense. It is not used in a figurative sense. So, figurative sense, like somebody is beautiful, so they say you are looking like moon. How did this come? I don't know. Everybody uses this, straight from Kalidas onwards or even before that. So you like moon, you have got a moon face. Then so many like that, these are all figurative usages. So definitely that person knows that you are not moon. That person is not mistaking you to be a moon, you to be the moon. But the person is saying that your face is like moon. That means it's just a figurative expression. But that is not the case when a person identifies oneself or associates oneself with the body and so on. This is very important. So there is a difference in perception. You know that this is lion because you will not go near it unless, of course, it is caged. Even then, people are not supposed to go near a lion. So you know that this is an animal, and yet you call a person lion because you are asking others to know, or you are requesting others to get the idea that this person has lion-like qualities. So that like Simha Iva, not Simha Eva. This person is not lion. This person has got lion-like qualities. But when one identifies oneself with the body and the mind, one is not saying I have body-like qualities or body has consciousness-like qualities. No, one is considering oneself to be the body. So there is no vastu bheda. There is no special defining characteristic or distinctive characteristic. This is what is the crucial thing here one has to understand. So that is why one cannot say, oh, I am just saying that my body has got consciousness-like attributes, or that I, Atma, have got body-like condition. No, we don't say that. We don't say that. And that's why when the body suffers or the mind suffers, we too think we suffer. Because we have identified so much, we have inextricably identified or interwoven with the body and the mind, that we cannot come out of that. We cannot come out of that. And this definitely happens because of Atma, Anatma, Aviveka. So again, see, I have told this earlier also. There are a whole lot of people who believe that Shankaracharya said that no sadhana is required. I don't know where they get this idea from. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Shankaracharya, in the beginning of Vivek Chudamani, he emphasizes like nobody's business. He says that no, one has to do sadhana. Sadhana Chatushta is very important, etc. So here this idea of Atma, Anatma, Viveka, discernment between self and the non-self, is a crucial idea. This idea is the first idea, Viveka. In Sadhana Chatushta, that is the first. Viveka, then Vairagya. So it's a crucial idea. Because if you do this, then you will have true knowledge. Otherwise, mithya cannot go. False knowledge cannot go. When I see in a dark room a coiled rope and mistake it to be snake, when does that knowledge, this false knowledge go? Only when clarity is brought about, somebody puts some light there, brings some light there and says, look, this is not snake, it is rope. So clarity is important. So this distinctive feature of rope and snake. So that is the beauty. Though rope is identified as snake, rope is identified as snake in darkness, because rope is not snake. Rope has distinctive features that make it distinct or separate from snake. Similarly, snake has some features which make it separate and distinct from rope. Vastu Bheda, very clearly they are distinct. That distinct characteristic, that when we are unable to grasp or unable to apprehend that distinct characteristic, then comes the problem. Then comes the problem. So that is why you see when identical twins are there, they are so identical, even mothers are confused. And these twins also, they know, they play with their mother. And one fellow goes and that fellow will act as though it is the other fellow. So we nowadays, very rarely we see identical twins. So when there are identical twins like that, so one mother will do something, she will put one mark on another child to distinguish. Otherwise, very difficult. Mother herself cannot understand. So that is what is happening when one is getting wrong knowledge, false knowledge, because of lack of viveka, discernment. That same thing is happening. It's like the case of identical twins. You don't know who is who, what is what happening, and their behavior is also generally, twins are, it is a evidence-based research. The twins have got so many tendencies which come together. So they, particularly when they are young, they are hungry, they are hungry together. They are angry also, they are together angry. So it is difficult to spot one from the other, distinguish one from the other. And then you cannot say, oh, it is a figurative thing I am saying. No, it's not figurative. You are confused. That's what Shankaracharya is saying. It's confusion. It is delusion. It comes because of ajnana. It comes because of mithya jnana, false knowledge. And so that is not something we can call as a figure of speech. No, it is not. So that reply is to the Mimamsaka, who basically raised this question or raised this objection. So it is not possible. It is not possible to hold that the idea that I am the body and the mind, or put differently, the idea of I am the body and the mind, or the association of oneself with the body and the mind. This idea or this association, this is not because of some metaphor, or it is not because of some figure of speech. Just like you say that a person is like lion, or the person is like brave, like this particular tiger. Purusha Vyagra, it's a word, it's a phrase which is used. Tiger among men, etc. So all these figurative expressions, metaphorical expressions are different. Here, that is not the problem. Here, the problem is that just like when a person from a distance confuses a pillar to be a person, similarly, here also the problem is this. We are mistaking something for the other, and the knowledge which we are getting itself is false knowledge. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.